How's it coming?
You know, asking me that every 5 seconds doesn't make the work go any faster.
Hey there, I'm Andy, and this is my spaceship. Alright, and that's Trevor. So look, when we first started making Andy's Spaceship, we filmed a bunch of random shots for the title sequence, and one of those shots was of a turtle doing stand-up comedy. Now, this shot, for whatever reason, got a lot of people excited, which was a problem because we never had any intention of doing stand-up turtle, alright? But since it seemed like so many people wanted it, I started asking around the ship, and it turns out that we do have an aspiring turtle comedian on board, alright? So, I've asked Trevor here to build me a little retractable brick wall so that we can set up a sort of stand-up comedy area. So, we're going to be doing that. And then later in the show, I'll be chatting with synthwave musician and video game composer Ogre. We're going to be talking about his favorite Nintendo Switch games. So, yeah.
All right. It's all ready to go.
All right, so what do I have to do?
Just press the button.
All right, here we go.
For Christ's sake, that should have worked. Give me a moment.
Oh.
Bastard!
Hey, it works! You okay?
I think so.
Perfect. All right, let's start the show.
I've got pride in my brain. Can you hear it hum? Hexadecimal thoughts, binary trees, sweet silicone, man or machine. I try to keep my head on straight. I've got a faulty battery brain. I can't even recall my name. I've got a faulty battery brain.
Welcome to the stage, the comedy stylings of Don Bobson.
Hi everyone,
So you are Don Bobson?
I am Don Bobson, the very same.
Is that a stage name or is that your actual name?
I can't actually reveal my real name, I'm in witness protection. Who did the grouting on this? Well, did you do this?
No, I think I had Trevor do it actually. I don't really do
Oh,
much of
Trevor.
the work on the ship. I just sort of sit in this chair and turn slightly to my left to talk to people.
You should turn right sometimes, because otherwise I think one of your ears might go lopsided, I think that's what they say.
And that's what happens to, like, MMA fighters. They get like that cauliflower ear.
I love cauliflower actually, so.
Yeah, that makes sense. What would happen if I turned to my right now? I would just be looking over here. I never really look at the ship from this angle.
I think that must be Trevor's put that calendar up there. Just a load of boobs on every...
Just a load
Trevor.
of boobs. It's my favorite way to consume boobs is by the load. There's a quote. Anyway, look. Let's...
I'll put that in the set.
Yeah. You can have that.
Thank you. That's going in. I'm going to open with that.
Do you want me to introduce you? Like do the fucking announcer voice?
Yeah, I would like that.
All right. And now, welcome to the stage, Don Bobson.
Good to be here. Got a few thoughts. In a job interview, what's the appropriate length of time to wait before starting to eat your soup? Right, next one.
Is this what we can look forward to? Is that what...
I mean, I forgot my opener, didn't I? So anyway, I love boobs by the load. My dad started tap dancing. Long story short, The kitchen sink's fucked.
Oh no.
So, hey guys, everyone. Imagine how painful it would be for a helicopter to give birth. Thank you. Thanks for imagining that.
I'm sure this is what everyone was expecting when they were like, hey, I can't wait to see Stand Up Turtle.
We'll go and find someone else then. Fucking heckling. I hate being asked for a stool sample. You either do or don't want to buy my shit. So that one's about going to the doctors.
You know what I do? I do like when you're done the joke and then you actually like explain it.
I've got some. I had some building work done at my house. I had a late night basically, and I said to the builder he should come round at 10 a.m. to start work. And the doorbell rang at 8:37 a.m. It's the builder. I told him. I said, we said 10, and he said, yeah. I'm just checking that you're still all right for 10. So that's funny because he came round early,
Like,
and he.
Any joke that's followed by "that's funny because" is amazing.
You know what? Fuck you. I didn't ask to be on this show. I'm trying my best here. You didn't even get an audience for me. You've barely promoted it. I've seen no flyering done, no posters
Hey man, we
or
built this
anything.
fucking brick wall.
Yeah, and it's a great wall, but
The Great Wall.
is it the Great Wall? I think the Great Wall was the Berlin Wall. Or, the Great Wall. Yeah, sorry, I forgot the proper Great Wall. Yeah, the Chinese one.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I mean, who knows? I don't even know where Trevor's from. I mean, he does sort of have a Scottish accent, but he may very well be Chinese, which would make this a Chinese Great Wall.
I think leave the stand up to me. Yeah.
Okay.
So that was funny, that one, because we booked the time in for 10 and he came at 8:37 checking if it's all right for 10. He may as well have come early in the first place, which is exactly what I didn't want. What do you get if you confuse an encyclopedia with a pizza? Burnt encyclopedia.
Just put it in the oven.
Right, listen to this. We'll have a quick game of fart or drill, okay? So, I mean, sure you've played it before. So you've just got to you've just got to discern. Here we go. Fart or drill.
Do you want me to guess?
Yes, please.
Drill.
Well, don't be so hasty. Take your time. Here we.
Who's playing these sound effects, by the way?
That's we'll I don't know. I don't know. Have I got hands?
Yeah, but they seem to be holding a book.
Okay. Well, just imagine that the book is also an iPad.
It seems I've got to do a lot of imagining today.
Yeah.
I still think it's a drill.
Okay.
Do you want me to say drill every time?
Keep going.
Drill! 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 Drill!
It's a drill. So that's that one.
God.
Oh, dinner parties stress me out. Because I can never remember if it's before or after dessert that I'm meant to reveal who the real murderer is. So that one's funny because, like in Columbo or stuff like that, he gathers all the people together after dinner. So
The movie Clue. You ever seen Clue?
no, I've played Cluedo. Is that similar?
Oh, that's right. In England, it's called Cluedo.
That's correct.
But in North America, it's called Clue.
Yes.
Which is always weird to me because Clue is a thing, And Cluedo is just a gibberish word.
Not if someone comes up to you and asks about the case and says, "Have you got a Cluedo?"
Oh no.
Yeah. Or they get asked, "Do you know? Could you help us? You could tell us who the murderer is." And they go, "But I haven't got a Cluedo."
Do a lot of people in England pronounce their THs as Ds?
Can you stop talking? I'm doing a set. You're sort of making me lose momentum.
Sorry.
Dogs only see in black and white, and that worries me, because when I'm watching a black and white movie, how do I know I haven't just turned into a dog? So that one's funny because I'm a turtle.
It makes me smile knowing that the audience wanted this.
So I got bought a guitar lesson, and the teacher asked me, "What do you want to get out of my lessons?" And I said, "Give me a $5 and I'll leave now."
Do you have a closer? Have you written down a closer in there?
Have I got a closer? We could play fart or drill again. David Attenborough amazes me. If I was David Attenborough, I'd go around pointing at everything, even dogs, and go, "The common cat." So the BBC, so the BBC would finally let me retire. What's that? Do you get the BBC in America?
Oh, I'm aware of the
You're
BBC.
not in America. North Canada.
Yeah, I'm from North Canada, but we're in space now, so we get all the channels. I miss Canada from time to time, but... Do you know anyone who does a good David Attenborough impression?
Oh, is that a heckle?
No,
I just did. You just had me do a brilliant one.
I mean, I heard you do something. It's just, I've seen some videos online where people, like, they try and parody David Attenborough, but they never sound like him.
The common cat.
If you've ever watched him, he physically wiggles around the same way he speaks.
Like a worm.
Yeah, no, because he does this thing where, he'd be like, "And in the Antarctic," and then, like, but with every sort of pause he does, he also sort of jerks around.
As long as that's all he's doing. Hey.
All right, well, look, listen. It's lovely to meet you, Don Bobson. I'm happy you're aboard.
Thank you.
You're right now like the only form of entertainment on this ship.
Wow.
By default, makes you the best.
I am the best.
Okay.
I'm the best.
All right, well, I'm going to clap you off now.
Okay.
That's not a euphemism.
Right.
All right. Don Bobson, everybody.
Thanks, everyone. Cheers. Bye.
All right, well, look, we're here right now with Ogre, a.k.a. Robin Ogden, talented music man. Do you mind if I call you a talented music man?
Oh, it's always very flattering.
You were my first guest on Beyond Synth, right? All those years ago in 2013.
Yeah, that's a long time ago.
When I first discovered synthwave, I came in, I listened to the soundtrack to Hotline Miami, discovered the word synthwave, then immediately found your album Sure Thing, which contains one of my favorite songs of all time. Oh no, sorry, Calico Braun.
Yeah.
Your album Calico Braun, which contains Sure Thing, one of my favorite songs of all time, which I used as the theme song to Beyond Synth.
Yeah.
And sometimes I feel bad about that because it's like, because there are all these people now who associate that as the theme song to the show.
Yeah, that's okay. That's a good association to have.
So since we never really do like video chat stuff, why don't you explain who you are?
I'm a composer and sound designer for games and visual media, and I also make a lot of other soundtrack stuff that is imagined soundtrack, usually using lots of 80s retro synths and analog modulars and junk like that.
So you've always been keen on like the actual physical, like analog gear, right?
Yeah, very much so.
You know, this is, I like to have musicians on the show, but then when they get here, instead of talking about music, we'll just talk about other stuff. So you wanted to talk about some of your favorite games on the Switch.
Yeah, for sure. I very much enjoy the Nintendo Switch. And to be honest, like, okay, this has not been a good year for travel, but prior to this, like, the Switch, like, completely changed how I travel, because I get very anxious with travel and stuff like that, and planes, and I'm not, like, afraid of flying, just, like, travel messes me up, basically. But then the Switch came along, and that, like, completely changed everything. So all of a sudden, like, travel and time spent in transit became an enjoyable experience, especially, like, the fact that so many games like multiplayer and stuff, like, me and my partner can just play the journey away, which is a good way to pass the time.
Now, this is your business partner, correct?
No.
Sorry, it's... I always like to tease everybody who refers to their girlfriends as partners.
That's my lady partner friend. She has been for 11 years.
Yeah, that's you have a successful partnership, right? You're both talented artists, right? She's a graphic artist, right?
Yeah. She's an illustrator and narrative designer, yeah.
Narrative designer?
Yeah, for games.
What does that mean?
The story part of games.
Okay. That sounds interesting. Get her out here.
Have her on the show instead. Like.
Anyway, here's what we're going to do. You're going to give me your top 5.
I guess it's top 5 I have played, but not ranked.
Okay. So what we're going to do is I'll listen to your list, and then I'll give you points. So if I like your list, you get a star, and if I don't like your list, you don't get a star, and that's how this works.
If I had known this was the game, I would have rethought my list a little.
Well, it's not much of a game.
We'll go for it.
It's
Okay. All right, let's start at the beginning. Dark Souls Remastered on the Switch. Do I say why I like it now, or do you give me a point? I'm going to be completely honest with you. The first time I played a Dark Souls game, I fucking hated it. I'd played Bloodborne before on the PS4, and after like 5 hours of sucking at it, something clicked and I got it. And then that was like my only experience of a Soulsborne game or whatever. And then I tried Dark Souls 3 and I hated it, and I put it down. I didn't touch it for 6 months. 6 months later, I was really ill, and I was like, I'm going to try Dark Souls again whilst I'm in like physical torment. Why not make this even more miserable? And then something clicked, and I was like, this is brilliant. So I picked up Remastered when it came out, because I hadn't played the original. I'd only played 3, and I enjoyed that even more on the Switch. And the fact that it's handheld and I can, play it on the go has been very fun. But it really reminds me of, and the gameplay reminds me of a series of books I had when I was young, like when I was small, called Fighting Fantasy, which is like a choose-your-own-adventure story thing for kids. And there was the one writer of that was like his books were great, and there was another writer. It was the two of them that did it. The second guy, his books were brutal. Like, it was like, you're dead, you're dead. Pretty much, there was only one true path through the book.
Okay.
And Dark Souls is kind of like that. I don't know, I like the minimalist world building, the lack of story, and what it does give you, you have to piece together yourself. It's like kind of puzzly or whatever, but Dark Souls isn't something I would have naturally clicked with, but then I did, and kind of fell in love with it.
I'm sort of afraid of playing those games because I'm normally hide away from like hard games, and like, the way everybody always talks about Souls games is it's always like, well, they're really hard. Like, that's always like the opening sentence. That's why I like Skyrim, because it's not hard. It's just a lot of content. But I can lay down and relax and just sort of like mash X through conversations and go like, all right, just tell me where to go. I got to go to a cave. Yeah. I go to the cave, I open the chest and get the amulet, and I'll bring it back to this idiot, and like...
It's kind of ironic. I find the Souls games now genuinely relaxing, but I think it's because at some point something clicks and you get it.
Right.
It's a weird thing to try and explain, but like, the last time I played, I think I died like twice in my whole run through. I think it's because you just kind of are more familiar with the mechanical side of it and stuff, and then it kind of becomes this weird like Zen experience, and if you die, it's like, oh, it's because I pressed the wrong button at the wrong time and I messed up, and like, I never feel cheated by the game if I fail. Yeah. All
right, I'll give you a point just because everybody likes that. If I didn't give you a point for Dark Souls, people would get mad at me.
Alright, number 2, Animal Crossing New Horizons.
I'll say this, it helped me. I was feeling very anxious at the start of this whole fucking situation, and the repetitive, mundane tasks of Animal Crossing actually helped. I would wake up in the morning, I'd boot up Animal Crossing, like almost first thing. I'd play for maybe, half an hour, just fucking picking weeds and selling shit to those assholes at the store.
Yep.
And it actually was sort of like kind of relaxing.
Yeah. I thought it was a very relaxing game. It came out like the day that we went into like proper hard lockdown here, and then I think I played it for like a week straight pretty much. But the thing I really liked about it was a really good way to hang out with friends who I was supposed to be hanging out with in real life. It's a very chill game.
I will say it could be so much more. Every single mechanic has some sort of aspect to it where you're like, well, they could cut this menu out, or why does this guy have to ask me like 10 sentences before, like every time I visit this asshole in the store, he says the same things to me, and I'm just always going like, get to the point, like just fucking, I want to sell you some weeds, idiot. And like, part of me thinks maybe that was the relaxing thing, is that you keep on going through these sort of processes, because in other games they would expedite that. You'd go to the store and just be like, sell all items, and you would fucking press X. But in Animal Crossing you have to fucking individually select everything you're selling. And
oh yeah, you're playing by Tom Nook's rules.
Well, Tom Nook is a fucking piece of shit. That dude's an asshole, man. Like, just every time it's like, oh, you could renovate your house, and I got to the point where he wanted like 150 grand for like another room. I'm like, you fucking piece of shit. Meanwhile, I'm the one who's bringing everyone to the island, like it's all my work. Did you ever get that sort of multi-genre dog musician to come to the island?
Oh yeah. KK.
Yeah.
KK Slider.
I never got that far. I never got to the part where you got to mold the land. Like, don't you get a tool to do that eventually?
That's pretty fun. Yeah, I made like a graveyard. I made like a Zen park, and I made like a mountain feature with like waterfalls and stuff. That was pretty fun.
The only real creative thing I did is I made my own clothes. Like, I made a little kind of like Doctor Who style jacket, like with a like outline lapel thing that I wear. Anyway. All right, so that's number 2. Okay, I'll give you a point for that.
Okay, doing all right on the points so far. Let's keep it 2. Let's see. Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a point.
I didn't get it to start with. I had the game, but I didn't click with it. It was such a departure from what my experience of Zelda was. Like Zelda games, and the fact that it gives you everything you need to beat the game in the first hour, and then you just get to explore. But like, it wasn't until I saw my lady partner playing it that I was like, this is how you're supposed to like experience this game. It's much more about exploration and taking your time and enjoying open spaces, and it's okay that there's nothing in the spaces, and I don't know, then all of a sudden it became like this amazing achievement and experience.
Nintendo has this, they've made a lot of games that age really well. Fucking Wind Waker.
Yep.
I know at the time I was one of those people who got all upset about Wind Waker's art style, because I was expecting like a realistic looking Zelda, like to follow up from the ones on N64. And like, I'm an idiot because like that game probably aged the best of the modern Zeldas. Like, the art style still looks great. Once you put it in like HD, the game looks fucking fantastic. It's so vibrant and colorful, and I feel like Breath of the Wild is the same thing. Like, if they ever come out with a Switch that just, like, this Switch just outputs 4K, and it just takes the games that already exist and then just puts them in a higher resolution, like Breath of the Wild, that's really my only complaint about the game, was just that when I'd play it, there was kind of like some jaggies and stuff, and I was like, oh, wouldn't this be so much better if it was just slightly higher resolution? But
if you're playing it on handheld, you don't even know.
That's true.
Can I have like a 3.1 as well and just say Link's Awakening was also really good?
Yeah, that was good, and I never played the original.
Oh, did you not? I loved it on the Game Boy, but this is the thing that blew my mind. This is like, on the Game Boy you only have A and B buttons to assign items to, and then suddenly on the Switch it's like, oh, you get an item per button. It was much easier on the Switch and far more enjoyable, because you're no longer having to like constantly pause and then reassign.
Right. Like, I didn't know any of the trivia about that game. Like, I never read the backstory or the making of. So I got the Twin Peaks thing just by playing the game. Like, I didn't read the Wikipedia, and you know, like, I remember when I walked into the little house where there's just a telephone, and then you talk on the telephone to that old man who won't talk to you in person. He'll only talk to you on the telephone, even though like he's like one house down. And I remember thinking, this game is so weird. It's just like, this game feels like Twin Peaks. Like, it's like this little weird town of all these quirky characters. And then I go and read the Wikipedia and find out that like that's the inspiration, and the fact that the whole game is a dream. Like, there's all these things that as I was playing, I was totally feeling the weirdo vibe. For me, it was the stupid little wooden house with the telephone. Like, that was the thing that was just like, what a fucking weird game this is. Like, just how quirky the characters were. And I always like a game that I connect with emotionally. Like, it doesn't happen very often. I know, like, some people are very sensitive to that, and they're like, oh, this game made me cry, and this game was sad. And I always want to feel sad, but I never quite do.
Right.
Games never quite get that point to me where I feel like sometimes there's a melancholy when you're just done playing a game.
Right. Kind of, I finished it. What now?
And so I get what they were going for with this game, and I feel like the ending could have been sadder. Like, I wanted it to be sadder, because I'm like, oh, you know, like, if Link defeats the dragon, then he wakes up, and then all these people disappear. Like, that's a sad thing.
Yeah.
But I didn't quite feel that when I was done playing. I was just like, okay, whatever. Like, he woke up. I don't know what I would have done differently to convey that, but that was something where I felt like there could have been more emotion in it, because, like, the idea that all these people disappear when you wake up, but you have to wake up.
Yeah, it's pretty sad.
Yeah, like, you know, like, it's sad in principle, like, in theory.
Number 4, I'm going to say The Witcher Tales.
It's cards, right? Is it a card game?
Yeah, it is card-based, yeah. Did you play The Witcher 3?
I did, but I didn't beat it.
Okay, The Witcher Tales is like a prequel in the same world, and it takes, like, there's a card game in The Witcher 3 called Gwent, kind of like a side thing. You don't have to play it,
Yeah.
or I think you may have to play it a couple of times in the main story, but the Witcher Tales game is, like, built off of this card game as, like, a mechanic. Like, that's, like, how you do combat and stuff. And, like, in principle it sounds really boring, but it was an amazing game. It was, like, I thought it'd be really short, but it was, like, 60 hours long, amazing voice acting, like, amazing art. It was far greater than the sum of its parts, so I don't know, I really rated it as a game. I thought it was really good. It's called, Witcher Tales Thronebreaker is the name of the game.
Do you still walk around as a character?
It's kind of like old school RPG looking, where you're a very small character on a very big map and you walk around the map basically, and then there's little events that you encounter on the map, either like battles or puzzles, or you can recruit more people and pick up more cards and all of those kind of things. So, but it's actually got a load of like different endings and narrative branches, and your choices in the game really affect the outcome. So it was really good. If you're into like the world of The Witcher and backstory and lore and all that kind of stuff, it was a very good game to play.
I'm trying to figure out how my point system works. I'll give you a point just for coming on the show and sharing.
Okay.
In the spirit of
I'll take
goodwill.
My 5th game would be the Super Mario All-Stars re-release, because it's 3 games in one, right? So I'm kind of cheating, but Mario 64, Mario Sunshine, and Mario Galaxy. I love 64. And I 100%ed that in like, I think like 2 days. I played it non-stop when it came out. That was really fun. Sunshine I felt no love for originally. I sold my GameCube copy of it. I tried to replay it maybe 10 years ago, and I hated it, and I got rid of it. Replaying it on the Switch, fell in love with it in a way that I didn't think I would. It was really fun. And I got all the shines in that one, so that was testament to how into it I was.
I feel like I'm part of the problem, because I also bought this game, and I'm like,
Right.
fucking Nintendo. Like, I've bought Mario 64 like 3 times, and of course I love Mario 64. I will say, I was actually pleasantly surprised, because normally Nintendo, sometimes they can be lazy when it comes to their re-releases and ports and stuff.
Right.
And they actually did update some things in Mario 64, which surprised me, because I wasn't expecting that.
Right.
You know how Mario 64, it's 3D, but it's got a lot of like pixel...
Yeah, it's got a lot of 2D.
Yeah.
Bits.
And they did actually improve the resolution. I mean, like, they still look really weird when you walk up close to things, but like the trees, for example, the spheres, like of the bombs and things like that, like they're actually cleaner now. I play a lot on emulators.
Yeah.
Obviously, like, it's where I play GoldenEye and stuff like that. And you can actually make N64 games look pretty good. Like, you can convert them to, to be like 1080 and stuff. And as long as everything's like polygonal, like it's all polygons, that stuff looks great. All the text, all the assets that are like flat, they look horrible. Like, it's all just garbled, pixelated nonsense. And so I was surprised that with Mario 64, like, they redid all the fonts, all the writing, so that stuff all looks nice and crisp. Like, say the trees look good. They didn't redo all of them. Like, there's still some like fences and stuff that look terrible, like when you walk close. Yeah. But they did more than I thought they were going to do. Mario Sunshine, I still don't I still don't love that game. Like, there's just something about the overall aesthetic I don't like, and I never have. And I don't say this often with Nintendo games. I don't think Mario controls particularly well in Sunshine. Like, I notice his control is very slippery and floaty. Like, they want you to be using that backpack all the time.
Yeah.
And when he doesn't have it, when you really just run around with him, he jumps and kind of runs a step or two, like when you leap.
Yeah.
And he fucking falls and stuff. And I find that happens a lot when I play Sunshine.
Yeah, but I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it far more than I ever have before, so it looked great as well.
I still say Odyssey is the best Mario, 3D Mario since Mario 64.
Right, yeah, I agree. I loved Odyssey as well.
Odyssey was fantastic.
Like, I guess with my top my five, there are 5 games I have enjoyed recently, I suppose, because Odyssey could arguably be here instead of All Stars. But then, I don't know, I'm trying to pack the most Mario in as I can
Yeah.
To this list.
No, that makes sense. Well, I'll tell you what, buddy, I'll give you a fucking 5 out of 5 on this list.
Sweet.
It's always nice to chat with you. People should go check out your music. I know today we're sitting here talking about video games, but you also make a lot of awesome music. You have a lovely day. Thanks for chatting.
You too.
Keep on being a cool guy and making cool music. And that's all I got.
I'll try my best. Take care, man. Thanks for having me on.
Cheers, dude. All right, that's the end of the show. Hope you enjoyed it. I've been told to remind you to like and subscribe, although I was supposed to do that at the start of the episode since most of you have shut this off. But if you're still here, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the show, consider supporting on Patreon. And I'm out of here. So come back and visit us all next time on Andy's Spaceship. All right.
Right, let's see what's on the old television then. Huh? Oh, there you go. Cheerleaders. This looks interesting. Go on, fuck off. Show's over.
My parents don't want me to go. They don't like the idea. And if I go, I have to raise the fare myself.
How's she going to earn that money?
Can you imagine? I know if I'd have won, my folks would be all for it. But you didn't win, Lisa.
Oh, Lisa, always chiming in with your nonsense.
When do you have to leave? In 2 weeks.
2 weeks? There's no way she's going to raise the money by then.
We'll just have to think of something, I guess.
Gonna have to think fast. I couldn't raise any money in 2 weeks. I guess they could have a bake sale or something. Drive around Dallas selling lemonade. Is that what this film's about? Is it about cheerleaders driving around Dallas selling lemonade? I mean, there's like 8 of them. Certainly one of them has a proper job. Why don't a few of them pitch in, lend Debbie the money, and she can pay them back in instalments? Ah, the girls' locker room. I'm sure they'll come up with a good plan in here. This is a good movie.